Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Elevated Audio Podcast. I'm your host, Raj Elevate. This is my co-host,
This audio.
and we have a very special guest. Means a lot to me having him on the show. I one of the first cats I met when I came to Florida. Real down to earth dude, funny dude, a real hip hop head, and a real lyricist. This my man. Go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
Ants Rants is in the building. Thank you guys very much, aka Mr. Starks, aka my mama named me Anthony. Thank you guys for having me on the podcast. Chris, my man Trent. I call you Trini still, Ella, but you my dude, man.
Oh, you
So
man.
thank you very much for having me.
I'll always be
It's
that.
it's an honor. I'm glad to be here. Thank y'all for having me, man. Right on.
Word. Thanks for coming, man. I even mentioned the comedic aspect you got going on now, man. The comedies you doing. So you rapping and you doing comedy. Tell me a little bit about what made you get go in that direction of comedy and getting into that atmosphere.
Because again, yeah, a lot of people that whoever the five other people are, they remember me from like trying to be grinding in the ozone and put music out with my partner L. Shout outs to my man Big L, Elementals Music. For those that would kind of know me from that, yo, my man, how did you switch? What caused you to switch that lane? I've always been that way. My character has always been like comedic and to like see the funny in things and kind of express that. Like hip hop was for me, it is for me to kind of express it in one way lyrically and kind of I could paint a different picture. I could turn on a different part of my brain. But then there's another side of me that helps to cope with the chaos of the world that we live in or helps to miss someone or you know what I mean? Like that part of me. And so that part turns on and it's comedy. And that comes from it really does come from the same place. Like it comes from the same kind of pains or hardships or joys that life are. I'm just fortunate enough to have a perspective, and hip hop helps me do that because comedy still has a lot of the same elements that hip hop does, man. What caused me to go that way is literally it was man. That's a lot of words. So I'll just hit y'all with the simplest shit, bro. I love being on stage. I
Yeah.
love to entertain, bro. I love to give people that good time. I
It's like
love that.
medicine, bro. It's like man, and
Yeah,
I have to respect it,
exactly.
bro. Is medication, man. And I even came up
100%.
with the acronym for hip hop: higher infinite power, um, healing oppressed people. You know what I mean? Well, I didn't come with that. Professor Script came up, but I'm saying it.
Right.
That's like
Yeah, man.
the perfect. Yeah, I mean that's what it is, yo. This not
When you're in, yeah, my bad. I don't want to cut you, bro. When
good.
you're an MC, you gonna come. I know you have your own acronyms for hip hop. Chris, I know you got yours. We should talk about those acronyms for hip hop that we came up with. I know we got some hot ones.
Was that?
No, y'all got hot acronyms, right? I know y'all got rhymes where y'all came up with your own acronyms for hip hop. I know you do.
Chris got him. He ain't trying to share him with people.
I
You got,
know.
you got, you
Oh,
got like
y'all went
It's
marketing on me.
personal, you know.
It's like I'm not. We not. Everybody got them. Everybody got those acronyms for hip hop. That's so cool, man. You
But
know
I
what I
think
mean?
that's like kind of like, and you're right. You're right, and we all do. And I mean, it really just comes from like our own like. It depends what it means to you, right?
Right.
yeah.
And so I think that can be different. They can kind of overlap, but that can be that's personal, to each person, what that might mean to you, what the culture might mean to you, what the music itself might mean to you,
Yeah.
Um,
But bro,
Like
do
hip
you
hop.
find like,
I,
go ahead, go ahead.
I feel you when you say like it's just in a different form because like I feel like that about when I'm producing or when I'm doing poetry or cooking even like you're just expressing that energy in a different form. You know what I mean? And that's
Right.
just how it manifests in at that time. So man, I just love
Right.
how it's all connected. And it's funny because once you're an artist, bro, it's kind of like you're artistic at different things. Cause like, I don't know, I consider myself a really dope cook. You know what I mean? So like, and it just comes so natural, bro. It's just like, what? How do I even know how to do this? But it's like an artistic, this is feng shui that just permeates through me. You know what I mean,
For
I'm an
sure.
artist on
It's
many levels.
right. It's a part of who you are, and it's like you guys, anybody study a martial art discipline or any kind of training,
Yeah.
any kind of okay. So like, right with you, what discipline?
Well, I mean, it was like when I was growing up, I did like taekwondo, and then I kind of like dabbled in like some other shit.
Right. And it was easy for you to dabble into the other shit because your body's mechanics and your mindset, your understanding, your fluidity of martial arts translated, right? So it's the same thing with that. This is like what you're saying, Trent. Like it's the same thing with that. And so with comedy, for me, I've always been funny, bro. And it isn't like hip hop didn't crack, but people don't understand. There's like your path is not always A to Z. Like it is, but like it's not a straight line. It's not a straight line. There's all kind of curves and scenarios. I've been through so much BS from when you know me to get to this place. But the
Yeah.
one thing that I want to make clear is that it's still I'm still hip hop, bro. I have what the reason why Ants Rants is picking up so much steam in the city is because I when I come out on stage, I always start out with a phrase and repeat to the crowd. I always start my every set I do. I'm like, yo, so glad to be here. Chilling on the audio elevate podcast. This is so fire, the elevator audio podcast. So fire, glad to be here with you guys, man. But you know what? We're gonna turn it up. I need this energy, man. I need that energy. You know what I mean? So we're gonna do it like this. When I say ants, you say rants. Ants, when I say ants, bro, the crowd goes crazy. It automatically brings them into the show. They're locked in. Let's pay attention to Ants Rants. So then I hit them with the comedy. So I'm saying that to say this: the path is what it is, but it's still hip hop.
Yeah.
That's the thing people don't understand. And I'm so glad I'm here with you guys, so I can say this thing I've always wanted to say. This is one thing from the teacher that I'll always love. Yo, yo, it's hip hop culture. We're talking about fucking music. Please be specific. I don't understand why people aren't specific. It drives me crazy. There's rap music within our culture, but our culture is hip hop and comedy and b-boys and breaking and teachers and lawyers and rappers and comedians. And
Hmm.
you see
Mhm.
that. My hat is yo, I'm 44. My hat is still fucking backwards.
Rap is something you do. Hip hop is something you.
Right,
I
you
mean,
live. So like people have to understand, man. We got it. Like hip hop is still so my path this way behind the mic, like telling jokes versus like rapping. To be quite frank, it's because the ear of the audience came that way. And the Bible say, "He who has ears, let him hear." So I still got shit to say, like from those albums. But I'm gonna say it this way now, because that's what the people are listening to. And then when that builds, hey, you know what else? I also have this ability. Check this out in your spare time.
hmm.
Now, you just said something that kind of like that I thought was interesting. Well, I mean, you said a lot that was interesting, but something specific that was. But you said something about like when you start like your comedy sets that you'll do like a call and response, right? Now, is
Yeah.
that something like that crowd engagement and shit like that? Is that something that like that you picked up on because of your hip hop background as a performer? That you're like, okay, I'm gonna get the crowd involved with this. Then maybe you wouldn't have done that if you just like went straight to comedy. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe hip hop kind of helped you develop like stage presence, you know, and
It,
made the comedy a better transition, an easier transition.
it absolutely did. That's what it did. Like I have, and I bring hip hop with me. Like because there's no way for me to not do that. Like I can't not be hip hop. I'm hip hop when I brush my teeth. I'm hip hop when I do meetings at my 9 to 5. I'm hip hop when I'm talking to these promoters before I do these comedy shows and get my money right. Like I can't not be hip hop. So like even in those environments, I had no choice but for that to come out. Like that happened because of this shirt. This shirt is my first Ants Rant shirt I made, and
Let me
the
see.
crowd that was the crowd. I don't know if you guys can see the shit,
Ah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
the whole thing now. That's tight. That's tight.
Yeah.
I like that.
So thank you. Did that to match the Vans kicks, the black and white checker
Yeah.
Vans joints. So it set it off nice. Anyways, I was dripping.
All the
Point
Adidas.
is, I hit the stage. It's like 300 people in there. This is the first time I've ever been on stage. It's 300 people in the improv, sold out, bro. This is before Corona cracked. And so like it was March 11th on the I never forget that as a matter of fact. March 11th, 2020.
Mm.
And like and you get the crowd screaming, Edge, what's up? And like that alone, I was like, that's what's up. We're gonna do it like this then. And so yeah, to answer your question, Chris, definitely hip hop helped with my stage presence because I knew how to stalk a stage from being an MC. You know what I mean? Truth be told, if y'all want to know the truth, I knew how to stalk a stage from preaching.
Oh shit.
That's so
Okay.
fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
So like, truth be told, that's why I really learned how to stalk a stage. And then I can take you further than that, bro. When I was 6 years, I'm sorry, when I was like 9, when I was 9 years old, I went to a hypnotist in a fair. Like there was a show where a hypnotist came out, picked people
Mm,
from the audience and hypnotized them and shit. I was 9 years old.
mm.
Yo, I killed that shit. That dude loved me. He was like, yo, we can take this guy on tour with us. I've been in love with entertaining people since that, bro. I did
Oh,
like a
shit.
bit about, yeah. And so I've been in love with the stage and the being up there like that for years.
Bro, it sounds to me like you're just born to be an entertainer, bro. Just
Yeah.
born to be on stage, man. And like
Yeah.
I especially like when you said wherever you go, you bring hip hop with you. Cause that's how I feel. That's how much I love this culture, yo. It's like if
Yeah.
it wasn't for hip hop, us three wouldn't be sitting here building right now. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
hip hop is the it's the cohesive glue that binds a lot of us together, man. And I've met so many amazing people, had so much amazing experiences, and more
Right.
so much yet to come. That God is just through hip hop, just forming and molding and manifesting. It's just a beautiful thing, man.
No, it really is. And go ahead. Go ahead. No,
No,
no.
after you, bro. I was just gonna say I feel the same.
I was gonna say I was gonna bring back something that you said, kind of in the same way that Raj is saying right now. But you said earlier that like, your goals are like, or your path isn't necessarily a straight line. And I've always been saying that success is like not like this. It's more like zigzag. It's like, okay, line, fail, 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 fail,
Yeah.
fail,
Sometimes you
fail.
go in like a circle, bro.
Yeah,
You go in a
sometimes you end
circle.
right back to where you
Right.
started and shit.
Yeah.
Right.
But the thing is like, okay, when I first got into music, like for me personally, I just wanted to like make beats and I just wanted to sell beats, and record and build with some artists and shit like that, right? And like, I didn't think like when I first started, first of all, I wasn't, when I first started making music, podcasting wasn't a thing anyway. But like,
Right.
I didn't think that I would be like starting a clothing line, being on a podcast, setting up shows, and producing, and engineering all the shit, right? But the thing
Right.
is, at the end of the day, like I can't sit here and I don't have a single regret about it because I look at like all the different doors that have opened because of all those different things and all the relationships that I've built. Like Raj is saying, like I've built so many like amazing um, connections and relationships because through basically through hip hop, because of
Right.
like, I
Right.
love this culture. I've met so many amazing people and really people like that are like my best friends now, and that wouldn't
Right.
happen without this culture. And I think you could probably attest to that as well because your path is different than mine. But between hip hop and now, like now you said you're more focused on comedy. I'm sure like in that path, the same you could probably say the same thing. That this many doors have opened, I've built this many relationships, and it's just a beautiful thing.
It is. It is. And the tour not exclusive, right? Dave Chappelle's Block Party, right?
Hmm.
The tour
Mm.
not exclusive. Already an iconic, historic thing,
Yeah,
right? And that was fusing the two geniuses together. I think it was Chappelle himself who said it. He was like, "Yo, musicians want to be comedians, and comedians want to be musicians." And
absolutely.
when I think about it, it all makes the truest of sense because I'm an MC. I love music, man. My heart I feel the same kind of passion about music that I feel about being a comedian because they both have that same responsibility, which is like the ability to go out there and
Mm.
say, "Hey, this is what's going on. This isn't what's right. This is what's working. Hey, this is what's great about the world we live in. Hey, this is who we are as a people." So like, it's really, really beautiful, and it is. You're absolutely right, Chris. There's absolute parallels. Between both worlds because that's exactly what happened. Shout out to my homeboy Absar Siddiqui, my homegirl Alina Siddiqui, my squad. Shout outs to Damaris Montos. You guys will be hearing a lot about her because she's a great event planner. And a lot of paths and things have been crossed in my life. And comedy, like hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
comedy, I'll even say via hip hop because there's no way for you to not take it with you. There's no way, bro. When you wake up in the morning and you
Mm.
put your fucking hands on, you're a hip hop dude. That's your culture. It's not unlike any other culture. It's not any unlike the Orthodox Judaic culture or whatever. You
It's
know what
not.
I mean? Like,
It's not.
it has
No.
it has its fibers and its beings that make you who you are, that make you what your existence is as a part of your identity. So yeah, it's the same. And hip hop and what I find interesting about comedy as a parallel of hip hop is that I grew up in an era when authenticity was paramount, or at least it was a better illusion that authenticity was paramount in hip hop. Whereas in comedy, in order for it to absolutely work, there you must be authentic.
No, no doubt about it. I mean, the thing is, I think that in comedy and in not just hip hop, but just art in general. And this is why, like, I look at stand up comedy as art. You know, it is art. Not
Oh, for
I'd
sure.
say that it is art.
And it's
But
one of the most challenging arts
it's so
in
much
my
harder than
opinion,
people.
bro.
It's so much harder than
Especially if
people
you're
think.
dealing with a
You
less
know,
receptive crowd. Like, man, you got to
yeah,
really know how to navigate
yeah.
that maze. And
But even yeah, and it's regardless of your like if you make music or you do comedy, the thing is like and like you said earlier, there was an authenticity that was kind of the expectation, right? Like I
Right.
kind of grew up in that era too. Like I mean, I did grow
Right.
up in that era where like as someone who makes, I mean, I only make music, I don't make comedy, but like either way, there was kind of this responsibility to like talk about the world the way that it is, you know?
Right.
And
Right.
there's a reason why we kind of like as hip hop heads, we kind of look at like certain artists and certain styles of rap, and we just like we don't have respect for it. And I think it's the same kind of thing in the comedy world. That I mean, maybe you could speak to this a little bit better. That I mean, I only know this very superficially, but like I know that there's certain styles of comedy that like are not as respected, you know, or certain comedians that maybe aren't as respected, you know, where we could look at someone like Dave Chappelle and be like, you know, I mean, for me that's the goat, you know. I mean, he's amazing.
it's definitely up there.
He's up there, you know. Where you look at
Yeah.
a comedian like,
One of my favorites.
and you look at a
Absolutely.
comedian like
Absolutely.
freaking
Icon.
yeah, like I don't know, someone like Dane Cook, for example. Like I'm not like shitting on the dude or anything like that, but there's nothing about like Dane Cook that you're like man, that's some real shit and it's funny. Like yeah, he says some shit that's funny, but you're just going there for like the entertainment. There's nothing thought provoking about it.
So since we're on that topic, I feel like
Right.
that,
I no, no, I don't want
go
to
ahead,
transition.
go ahead, go
I
ahead.
just want to respond to Chris if that's all
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
man.
go ahead.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with what you're saying. There is that. There is that. And I mean, and I think that that's the thing about art, it's subjective. So you'll have comedians who are, and I'm not going to use Dan Cook as an example, but I'm not going to not use Dan Cook as an example. You can use somebody like, yo, you can use somebody like, you can use
Just use
somebody
them.
like,
You gotta use them now.
No, I didn't
yo,
mean to
no,
like shit on the
hold
dude.
on,
I enjoy some of
Yeah,
his
I
stuff.
got
You
you.
know what I'm
yeah, I know
saying?
Bro,
I know I
exactly.
sound like
bro,
I'm
no,
shitting on the guy,
no,
but
don't back channel. You're good. You're good. I got you. I got you. I got you. Watch. That's like a carrot top, right? I mean, holy
that's an
crap.
even better example. Yes,
Holy
thank
crap. Carrot top's
Yo, I
amazing.
like Carrot
Carrot
Top.
top,
I like
you.
Carrot Top, man.
he can beat
I
my
like.
ass, but that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get that. He's not gonna be like, hey yo, look, this is my mobile phone and like a phone on skates, and then be like, and by the way, you know who doesn't have mobile phones? The people in Syria. It's really fucked up in Syria. So like you're not gonna get that. You're right. So there's a space for that, right? There's a space for that. Unfortunately, just like in hip hop, they pay like millions of dollars to Carrot Top because thousands of people every fucking day want to watch him in Vegas. They don't give a shit about Ants Rants when I be
People don't
like,
want to
hey
think, man.
yo, right. So it had but like that's not so that's why you can't get into this thing for like hip hop, you can't get into this thing for the bread. You have to get into this thing for your art and for what you represent and what works. And I don't have any ill will towards because I have a lot of ignorant comedy, but I also my comedy is comedy that like you'll be driving home, it'll hit you, you fuck around, swerve and run off the road because you can't believe what the fuck this nigga said to you 20 minutes ago. So like you know what I mean? Like bro, I'll give you an example. This is one of my I love to tell people this joke because All right, so I tell like my name is Ants Rants. My real name is Anthony, and I love my name. It's a great fucking name. I love my name. But what I hate is when people call me Tony. Don't call me Tony. Yo,
I never
I hate it.
understood how you got Tony out of
Bro,
Anthony. I don't know.
I can see the letters and shit, but what I don't understand is if you're so busy you can't say my whole fucking name, whatever you have to say, it probably isn't that important. So it feels like because before they share information with you, you have to go through the false approval of being called Tony. It's always like, hey yo, Tony, do you mind if I call you Tony? I mean, is it Tony or is it Anthony? Now I feel like an asshole. Yeah, I feel like yeah, but I absolutely do. But I also don't want to be that guy. So it's like, I just fuck Tony's fine. What do you got to tell me? So it feels weird. It feels weird to me, guys. It makes me feel uncomfortable. It's like that, right? It's like that one uncle that touches you inappropriately during the holidays. Oh, okay. So I'm the only one that uncle, right? I'm the only one that uncle, right? Yeah, you know the uncle I'm talking about, right? That one that has change in his pocket, but he wants you to get it. Yeah, that uncle, man. I'm talking. Yeah, now you know. That's the uncle. Somebody's remembering Christmas of 08, the season of tears.
Season of tears. All right, so this kind of like leads into a question I have. Either one you can respond. Do y'all feel like a comedian with a platform has an obligation to speak on conscious topics or conscious topics, or at least delve into them a little bit? Do you feel like they have? I know Dave Chappelle does this. Like he throws consciousness in there and real world events. But do you feel like a comedian with an actual platform, or just any comedian? Like, do you feel like they since people are listening to them and they're in tune and they have an audience, like they have a responsibility to be somewhat conscious?
It's two sides to the coin. There's two sides to that coin. To that answer, it depends what you want out of it, right? Not, I don't mean as a fan. You as the creator, as the comedian, or just the creator of that art, right? Like, it really depends what you want out of it. If you want to be respected by your peers, and that's what I care more about, like as a creator.
Your
Like
peers?
musically, I care more about respect for my peers than I do about like
Fuck your peers.
Yo! No, I didn't say that. I just said like so.
You can always tell the person
what I
can't believe.
meant.
You can tell he didn't believe what you said. Say that shit again. Your peers, your fucking peers, son. That's what you care about.
Well, what I'm saying is the sweet spot is you get respect from your peers, and your art is fucking great, a la Dave Chappelle. You know what I'm saying? But not everyone is fucking Dave Chappelle. You know what I'm saying?
We use your name a few times.
What's that?
Now I'm saying we need to get some sponsors from Chappelle. We use his name.
Yo, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real with you. You better make sure he don't think your shit is whack first. You fuck around and get shut down, nigga. Did he say my name 3 times? You would not be on Netflix.
I just spit some bars for him. He'd be like, okay.
I got you, bro.
Spit some bars.
I got you. Yeah, you spit some bars. You'd be straight.
There you go.
So to answer that question, I'm gonna answer it. But I'm just gonna answer it. Fuck you. You asked that question like a Jesse Lee Peterson question. If y'all know Jesse Lee Peterson, you gotta look up Jesse Lee Peterson, bro. He's out of control. But he'll ask you a question where you're like, what? So you can tell like you already have you asked it, but you already have your own idea. You know what I mean? So like, let me ask you: Are you asking? And I'm sorry. I know it's rude to answer a question with a question. I'm sorry, bro. Are you? That's okay. Fine.
I'm kidding. Ask it.
All right. Are you asking that question with a hip hop head mindset, like a traditional hip hop head mindset?
Yes.
All right. Fine.
Yes.
Fine. So I'm gonna give you.
I'll give you a mad long. You know me though.
All right, so I'm gonna give you my answer, and my answer kind of lines with yours, Chris. But my answer, I believe that no one is obligated to do a fucking thing, and that's like an issue that we have in our society and our culture and our world today, no matter what culture it is, and that's a damn shame because it was that at one point in life where if you touched a microphone and you was gonna spit some poetry, or you touched a whatever, you know what I mean? There was a certain degree of like if you have a following, and I think that was like the original part that I was gravitating towards was like if you have a platform. So if you have a platform, you have a following, and indeed you are obligated to edify an audience. So whether they see you, and this is why I agree with you, Chris, whether they see you as an entertainer and you do, I'm carrot top and check out my prop, right? And you do that, then that's your obligation. They're following you for that. You give them that. If you choose to bless them any other way or to like bring them into your story and be like, this is how, this is the journey I took to get here, and maybe that'll help you get wherever the fuck you're trying to get to, then that's another thing. But like, we're not obligated to do anything. I think that's a far cry from a tradition and a time and a culture that like we're not that. If you're an MC, you're obligated to do that because that's your fucking job. You're a war reporter. You know what I mean? That's your fucking job. If you're not, then you're not obligated to. And like the way rap is today, niggas is barely obligated to say anything at all on the track. So.
Yeah, they're not even making coherent sentences. I mean, I asked it, and honestly, like, I feel like it should be like that, but at the same time, I feel like in the same breath that you really don't have an obligation to do that. You know what I mean? I would like it, but nobody's obligated to do anything. At the end of the day,
you don't have an obligation. You don't have an obligation.
There really
that
is
just
no
speaks
obligation.
To that, and that speaks to that person's character.
Your only obligation is to put out what makes your heart sing. You know what I'm saying? What moves your soul and what would move other people as well. But other than that, you don't have an obligation to do that.
Comedy has a unique so watch. So then because I'm hip hop to my heart, comedy does have a unique opportunity where it can be a bastion for like truth and like a forefront for like truth. And I know that shit sounds cliche. I hate saying cliche things, but we was in it, and I'm just gonna say this on your podcast. So if I can't do the Grammys in 15 years, I just fucking can't do them. But we was at a we was at a private mic, bro, and it's all comedians, all like grinding ass fucking 5-day a night, 7-day a night comedians. Like, so like there's culture there, right? And gay ones, straight ones, everything. We're all here at this party. And my man Brad gets up there and they're like, they give him his word because we had to do these rant rounds or whatever. And then my man goes, so his word was gayism. The word he had to rant about for 1 minute was gayism. He leans into the crowd, looks around, and like with the straightest face goes, so faggot is off the table, right? And like the whole room just boo this man, and I joined in on it because I thought it was really fucking hilarious to like boo him. I was like, are you serious? Like, yeah, you said that? Really? I was like, this is the last place that you need to boo anybody, that you need to try to cancel anybody. This is the last place. And so I say that to say this. We have like an obligation to, I'm sorry to bore you, bro. We have an obligation.
For the record, Raj was yawning in the middle of that answer.
But we have an obligation, right? To get up there and defend a freedom of speech, to get up there and defend the fact that we can talk about things that makes it uncomfortable. Like that joke was about how uncomfortable it is for me to have to go through that Tony conversation with people, right? It's so uncomfortable. It's like getting molested by an uncle. Like that's some deep shit. People don't realize how powerful that is because like that stuff still happens. It's funny because unfortunately, every time I do the part where I go, oh, okay, I'm the only one with that uncle, right? Everyone is like, you're not. You're fucking not. And so I'm still talking about a thing very much. So we're obligated, yes. I think that we still should. Especially if you have a following, you still should represent. So I still hold true to that value. I do. But like you said, nobody in the essence and the big scheme of things is obligated. Those
Yeah.
are core
In a
values you
perfect
have.
world, I'd be like, yes, everybody's.
Yeah,
If you got an
right,
air,
right.
yes, you
Those
need
are
to speak
values that
up.
you have that are valuable about hip hop values. Those are stamps of hip hop culture, a
Right.
person that represents and lives this culture. You kind of like it makes perfectly good sense why you would feel that way.
I have one more question about kind of like this, like a general kind of a comedy question, but like in today's world. Because how do you kind of accept like how like this cancel culture that exists, right? And there's kind of like this sense of like that comedians don't want to be, don't necessarily, they're playing it safe. And the thing is, the stage used to be, the comedy stage used to be like a safe haven of like, if you're going to be offensive, you could do it there and people just got to eat it. If you're offended, tough shit. You're at a comedy show. You're supposed to
Right.
kind of, you're supposed to feel that way a little bit, you know? That's the point of this room is to kind of feel a little offended, but it's kind of funny at the same time. So like you kind of just got to
Right.
eat it. And now
Yeah.
like that's kind of getting scrubbed, you know? Where like you got all these comedians that like just are getting kind of soft about it. I'm not saying you necessarily, but I think a lot of comedians are kind of scared to do certain types of jokes because they're just going to get eaten up. How do you kind of view all of that? Like where we are, like comparing like now to maybe where comedy was. I don't know, going back to like when Richard Pryor was around. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a totally different thing. And I mean, it's different. It was even different like 15 years ago. But like, how do you kind of like accept that people are just so much more sensitive about certain kinds of jokes, and you just kind of push through with the shit. Like you just said, you made that joke about like, the uncle, right? Like some comedians are probably too scared to make that joke. You know what I mean?
They're not.
So
They're not. They're not. They're not. That comedian needs to write more. Because that's really all that's about. It's about writing more. Be intelligent. Like you raise your IQ just like when you write lyrics.
right.
But to answer that question, it's funny to mention like Richard Pryor, like going back that far. Because in your mind, you're seeing like that, and you're seeing the Richard Pryor, like Sunset Strip
Yeah.
Richard Pryor, right? You're seeing like when he's like, I came back from Africa, I ain't gonna say the word nigga no more, because I don't see no niggas, right? So like that Richard Pryor all the way up to like, right, which is amazing. It's funny because Richard Pryor, they
All right,
weren't
to
doing
the
Richard.
goat, by the way.
Absolutely, one of the greatest. Absolutely, Richard Pryor wasn't doing Richard Pryor. The comedy wasn't doing Richard Pryor when Richard Pryor did Richard Pryor. That's the unique thing, because like for a nigga to say nigga so freely like that mess people up, and then to say nigga on a network TV show, like a lot of people don't understand. Richard Pryor had, I don't know if you guys know this, but Richard Pryor was groundbreaking where he had his own variety show. Like he
Mhm.
actually had his own like variety show back in the 70s. Yeah, they roasted him. If you guys look up, if you want to see an amazing roast, a fire ass roast, with like a young pops in it, John Witherspoon, again, rest in peace.
What do you
You
mean
want to see a
variety show? Like not a sitcom.
nah, like a variety show back then, they would have skits on there. A singer
Oh,
would come on there.
Yeah.
okay.
You know what I mean? And the comedians would come on there, and it'd just be like this nonstop show, like
Word.
hilariousness, like a Saturday Night Live, but on crack. You know what I mean? Something bigger. So like not because niggas was doing crack, but because anyways, it was a really good time. So, but Richard Pryor wasn't Richard Pryor then. Back then, what was popping was like Bill Cosby stuff, like super duper clean like that, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
dad jokes and all of that.
the
Not even like
dad, funny
innuendo,
dad.
right? And so when Richard Pryor came out, Richard Pryor was doing a lot of like, um, that guy, the funny dad, pudding pop, Bill Cosby type, right? And then he was able to break away from that. And when he started doing the real shit and going to a strip clubs and doing that, like
Mhm.
yo, hold on, this is what we really sound like. This is what the culture and the people really sound like. This
Mhm.
is how. And so his number one thing after that was get up there and tell them the truth. And so that's my motto. It's been my motto since I started. Get up there and tell them the truth. So as far as how it goes with that, that's a matter of a transition in culture. You want to recognize your audience, just like an MC. You go out to the crowd, you're gonna recognize your audience. You're gonna know the audience. That's part of moving the crowd. You gotta know what kind of fucking crowd it is to move it. You know what I mean? So as a comedian, you want to adopt the same principles. So when I go out to a crowd, if it's a room full of old white people, I'm not gonna be like, yo, y'all want to hear this joke about how like this is racist, white people with my big dick and blah blah blah, and sucking fuck this. I'm not gonna do that because that's not gonna that's not gonna help. That's not gonna help the situation. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go in and we're gonna talk about like how I think hunting is stupid, right? I'll talk about how like hunting is really just a home invasion in the woods. You know what I mean? So like you go with it like stuff like that, or I have people love the bit about Rubik's Cube being racist. So like that is like a really you just got to know your audience, and then you kind of curve it. Like I did my first clean show in Brevard County. Shout outs to Dorian Gale. Shout outs to Rubik's Games in Brevard County. Shameless plugs. That place is dope. And I had to do the whole show clean. And it is different. And there are topics that you got to kind of quote unquote dance around. Like I have a joke called "That's gay." I don't like when people use the term "that's gay." I grew up with that term too. That's gay because it usually means as something negative. It usually means some shitty shit, something you're disappointed in, right? When people say that's ghetto, they mean some messed up shit, and they usually mean black. They don't mean like, oh shit, your car got repo. That's so ghetto. Give me five. That's not how that word works. So like, I never liked that word either. And like, what we call gay usually is just a mild inconvenience. Right. You know what I mean? Like whack, and then right. So it's whack. So I have a whole bit about that's gay, and I got it gay approved. Like I ran it through two gay partners. Like I was like, hey, is this? Can I say this without? I mean, really, I'm trying to do the Oscars. So with that, you know what I mean? And I know I keep referencing that because we all know what that's about. They tried to fucking kill Kevin Hart. So yeah, you got to navigate it by being authentic, man. This is our art. This I get from hip hop. This is our art. So I stand and die by it. I stand behind my words. You know what I mean? When I'm spitting rhymes, all of my rhymes and all of my words are real. You can trace my records. All of my shit is back. I got receipts. You know what I mean? Everything I do is authentic and to the culture, and I just carry that over into comedy. So I navigate those waters by doing what the fuck I want to do. Look. This is a trick to people for MCs, for producers, for comedians. This is a trick. Speak from your heart. Be honest. Be fucking honest. Honest. I didn't say truthful. It's fucking easy to be truthful. It's easy to be truthful. It is very difficult to be honest. It's very difficult to be honest. The word honest ain't even honest. There's a whole H in it that you don't know what even fucking talks about. Nobody even talks about it. All the other letters make noise. You don't even hear H. What the fuck's up with H? Why does the H get a voice in the word honest? What the fuck? Nobody's being honest there. So like that's what I'm telling you. That's how difficult it is to be honest, bro. It's difficult. Like here's some truth for you. I don't cheat. That's truth. That's truthful. Honestly, it's not because I'm loyal. It's because I'm lazy.
And yeah,
So
absolutely.
you see, it's
And I'm
about being
cheap.
honest. It's about being honest. So you need to be honest when you're writing your rhymes, when you're doing your comedy. If you be honest and you speak from a place of love, you can really say what you need to say to any room of people, any crowd of people. So I don't necessarily worry about offending groups of people because I come from a place of love, bro. And then the third and final thing is, in my line of work, ignorance is bliss. My biggest strength is the fact that I'm not that intelligent. So like, I don't really know better.
Nah,
I
I
don't
can't.
know, man.
I
I
can't.
think there's kind of some. I think there's a bit of genius in being a good lyricist and in being a good lyricist both in hip hop and in writing comedy. You know, there's a bit of
Yes,
genius in there anyway. So
yes.
I got to push back on that particular statement by you.
Thank you, man. I humbly appreciate that. Yeah, I'll be roasting myself. Self-deprecation is cheap, quick jokes.
You
You
got to,
guys
man.
know that.
You got to be able to laugh at yourself.
Bro.
That's your strength.
Bro,
Yo,
I
you want to
saw
take you don't want to take yourself too serious, man. You're a
absolutely.
beautiful, wonderful gift to the world. You're both important gifts to the world. You have a space, a place, and a voice that you necessary for this bitch to spin. So you don't want to sell yourself too short, but you don't want to take yourself too seriously.
Agreed.
Facts. Yeah, man. So what you got coming up next, brother? What you
Word.
working
What are
on?
you guys
What project
doing?
you working on?
Yes. April
Shows.
20th. April 20th is going down. I'm gonna be at Grumpy's Underground. If do you guys even go out and peep underground comedy? Like, can you say when is the last time you guys went to a comedy show?
Bro.
Probably last year, to be honest with you. Well, just because of COVID, I don't really go out,
Yeah.
and I got a baby at home, so I don't really go out.
Congrats
So,
on your baby, man. Yeah,
thank you.
absolutely. Yo,
I appreciate that.
it's go out and watch comedy. Go out and see these amazing people with these wonderful ideas and these wonderful. My homegirl, Rebecca Rose, is transitioning from a dude to a female. She's an amazing person. I'm new. She's an amazing person, man. Very funny. Alina Siddiqui. I'm promoting other people's stuff, but go out and watch comedy out there, bro. Especially when I'm out because I'm funny. So, April 20th, I'm doing Grumpy's Underground. They're at 1018 North Mills Avenue. It's a real dope spot, man. It's a real chill place. If you ever wanted like a feel of like a New York style underground comedy spot or a Chicago style comedy spot, you're gonna get good drink specials and you're gonna get great laughs. We're doing a 420 show out there, so I'll be doing that one. I'll be out there for a little bit bullshitting, and then I'm shooting over to iDrive because I'll be back up at 10 Roof. I'll be doing 10 minutes for their 420 special. If you've never been to 10 Roof, it's right by Sugar Daddies and all of that over there in that little area. What a great venue for music and what a great venue for music and comedy. Love those people. That's run by David Naboa. So that's what I got coming up right now. Then I'll be in Sebring, Florida on the 24th. And the most important thing was chilling with y'all.
Word. Well, we appreciate you having you, man. Where can people find you on the internets? On the internet?
Absolutely. Apps on the interwebs, the internets, man. You can find me everywhere, bro. Ants Rants, ANTS. Am I spelling my name right? I'm so high. I never know how to spell it right.
Am I spelling my name?
RANTS, Ants Rants, and that's on everything, bro. You can see me on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Farmers Only. I think I'm on your grandma's back page. You know what I mean?
Bro, do you ever put up like little skit jokes and stuff? I don't think I've seen that from you yet online. Well, are you more you gotta come to the show to get this? I ain't giving you on the internet.
You want to come and check me out? Here's why, man. Comedians get their shit stolen all the time.
Biters.
It gets stolen all the time.
You gotta worry about biters and hip hop, biters and comedies.
Well, it gets more. I gotta say, there's more respect in hip hop and comedy about that than there is in hip hop, which drives me. So I'm thankful for that because there's shit you can timestamp. Like you look like a sucker doing that. You still look like a sucker doing that. And that's because the rhymes and the comedy still come from the same place. You whip that shit out of nothing. You whip that shit out of inspiration. We're alchemists. We're alchemists in the game. We got this beautiful gift to take these words, to take. Fuck that. First we spin what's happening, the actual essence of what's happening, the reality, into words, and then spin those words into an art and a profit. And so that's something that still should be taken that sacred. And with comedy, I will fuck your ass up, bro. Like the thing that's nice about comedy, unlike a rap, you gotta in order to deliver a joke, you gotta nail the timing of it too. You gotta nail the cadence of it too, the style of it too, the attitude of it too is different. You can fake it with a rap because you just gotta do that. But for this, you have to deliver it, and it's not easy. Like all of my shit is for you to do my shit is so specific that you would have had to live it. You can't live that. You can't live your dad telling you that the Rubik's Cube is racist if your dad never told you the fucking Rubik's Cube is racist. You can't live that. You know what I mean? I live that. You can't. So when I tell it, it's a different feel. That's why it's funny when I do it versus somebody else running my shit.
Word. All right, man. It was a pleasure, brother. Y'all know where you can find me. Raj Elevate everything. ROJELEV8. You know what I mean? Chris, what you got for him, B?
Yeah, Chris Audio, Chris with the Khras Audio. Find me basically on every platform you can think of except for TikTok, because I continue to take my stand on not adding any more social media profiles. I'm capped out, man. So
I have a TikTok. Don't know how to use it.
yeah, I mean, I don't want to learn another
Too
app.
many, dude.
I know that makes me sound like I'm 35 going on 75, but
I don't want to
I'm
learn
just not
none,
gonna do it. I'm just not gonna do it, man. But
I
yeah,
don't got enough time.
I don't have time to
too
do
much.
that, man. I don't have time to learn another app. I got too much
I
shit
say
going
just take
on.
the two, man. If you're gonna do this, take two. Mine's Facebook and IG for the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just two.
Word
yeah,
up.
man. But yeah, Chris Audio, Soundbreakingmusic LLC.com, pretty much trying to do everything going on here. Subscribe to this pod, and before we log off of this, I just want to say rest in peace, DMX. Um, I mean, I could go on for a long time talking about this, but we lost a legendary talent, um, and yeah, man, definitely one of my personal favorites. Growing
Amen.
up, and
R.I.P. to the dog, man.
yeah, man.
Yeah, I put one in the air for him too, man. Yeah, growing up with his music, like we talked about earlier before the cast, I definitely want to recognize his music, his art, what it meant, how it impacted me as a young person. So I know it touched a lot of people. Sound like you gentlemen included, but definitely touched us in a way where it spoke to us. I know it got me through a lot of dark, hard times, man. Real
Right.
do, real do. Uh, I love the way he handled himself next to Aaliyah too. Go ahead, dog. Arr, arr. I love that guy, man. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Rest in heaven, man. Rest in power, Dark Man.
It's crazy, man, because like obviously dude that don't know me, but like I feel like I lost a friend. You know what I mean? Like somebody a part of your life that you knew your whole life, even though we never knew each other. It's like he's been a part of my life as long as I've been alive. You know what I mean? This is art, it's that energy, that DMX energy. So yeah, definitely rest in power to the dog, man. We love you. And your
You ever,
music
let
live
me,
on forever.
I don't want to. I just want to say this, man. So for all the things that we were talking about, like embodies that too. He's something that I took over in this transition into comedy. Is that type of authenticity, that type of realism, like that. That was rare even in
Yeah.
his time. So like, I hope that people realize like man, if they, hopefully he'll get Nirvana'd out. I know we talked earlier some fears that you might have had. I won't speak on those, but maybe he'll get Nirvana'd out. Maybe these new kids will jump on that wave and start wearing faded, Dark Man X t-shirts and Hell is Hot t-shirts and like
Yeah,
vibing out to the
maybe.
music.
Yeah.
So rest in peace, Dark Man X, man. And I want to say from the bottom of my heart, follow your boy Ants Rants on everything. Come to my shows. Come and support live comedy in your cities. Have me in your cities and I'll support it. But Orlando, stand up, come out, support your boy. Stand up and support Elevated Audio. Homie Chris Audio, my man Raj, man, please do that. My man Trini, elevate, my brother, man. I love hanging out with you guys. And anytime, let's vibe and kick it. Come out to the shows for the 420. Let's kick it, man. If you don't, I'm gonna roast you guys when I get a podcast. I won't forget. I'm light skinned. I'm light skinned. I hold grudges. I hold
Bro,
grudges. I'm from the, I'm from
it's
the,
way
I'm from a
overdue,
Drake
man.
bloodline.
It's
Yeah.
way oh, grudge, back to back, right? Man, it's way overdue, man. It's way overdue. Definitely got to come out support you. But
Yeah,
again, it's an honor
likewise.
having you over here, man. We ain't physically chilling a minute, you know what I mean? So this was as close as we could get to that, and I'm definitely happy this happened, man.
Don't you got an event coming up though? Did I see a flyer?
You talking about the hip hop fest?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell them about that, Chris.
Yeah, so we got Ozone Hip Hop Fest. We haven't dropped the flyer quite yet. We kind of teased it. We've been teasing it a little bit, so we haven't dropped any specific dates or a flyer or anything or any like specific details. But yeah, Ozone Hip Hop Fest will be back. This August after taking a year off due to COVID. But yeah, it's going to be fourth Ozone Hip Hop Fest. Uh, in case anyone listening isn't familiar.
All day long, all day long. It's 2 days, right?
This time, in past years, it's been like an all day long hip hop event, basically celebrating conscious hip hop. So a lot of lyricism, just a lot of really, really, really talented hip hop artists. No, let me rephrase. A lot of talented MCs. Um, So
Bars.
yeah, man. But this year we're switching up the format a little bit. This is one detail that I will reveal is that it's a 2 day event this time instead of all day on a Saturday. We're gonna do 2 evenings. It's gonna be a Friday night and a Saturday night, two different venues, totally different lineups both nights, but a lot of bars.
I'm there, dude. I'm there. I'm in the house, bro. Not
Word.
even a question. I'm in the house, bro.
Forward
You
to
know,
it
we gonna,
Yeah,
ball
man.
out.
for
I
sure.
appreciate it.
Yeah, just stay with me, man. Thank you guys so very much. It's been a pleasure. Don't edit none of my shit out either, because I speak the
Nah, I
truth.
don't do any of that. Uh,
I'm just
bro,
kidding.
when I
That was so
bro,
fun.
when I real talk, anyone who watches this or listens to this, the only edit I do on this is adding a fade at the beginning and the end. And I just put like a little intro like clip thing with the logo at the very beginning.
We're
That's
rolling
really the only
uncut.
editing I do.
We're on no television network. We say what we want. We do
Yeah,
what we
buddy.
want.
Yeah, buddy.
This was fire, man. I had a great time with you guys. This is fire. Thank you so much.
Likewise, brother.
Anytime, bro. Anytime.
Yeah, man. We got to get you back on.
Brothers.
Man.
Peace.
Peace.
Salute.